Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with What's a Rolfie, Unky, Fireman 1231, JDB Cubed, and Fireman Freddy. Let's get to the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cool Fireman Podcast, episode 16. You made it, you're here. We are continuing with our guest series, bringing in people that we want to chat with. We want to hear their stories. We want to know what they're doing to help firefighters, to support firefighters, or to outfit firefighters. This week's guest, none other than the creator, owner, president, CEO, all that, of Taylor's Tins. You've seen them, you use them, you love them. They're on the front of your helmet. That's the main thing. He does 100 different products, but people know those helmet shields. So welcome, Taylor, to the Cool Man Fire. Oh my God.
Podcast.
Fireman Podcast. I need another drink of Arizona.
Is it Taylor or is it Jen?
I'll go by Taylor for this interview.
Okay, great.
Freddie, that was one hell of an introduction, dude. I thought I thought you were like Ric Flair or something.
Let's give Taylor 2 claps and a Ric Flair. All right, so again, welcome Taylor to the podcast. Tell us what made you decide, I'm going to jump into the fire service, making and designing different products that are going to help and protect firefighters. What made you jump into that?
Yeah, people like me have no idea who you are. So just please let us know.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I love it. I was a career fireman with Cape Girardeau, Missouri for 6 years. And throughout my career, I'd had a couple of arm and elbow hand surgeries and things like that. But Missouri's not exactly notorious for paying insane amounts of money. And everybody's got a side hustle kind of thing. And mine was kind of Pinteresty stuff, I guess. I always like to work with my hands, create stuff. And that was my thing. So if you found it on Pinterest, I could make it happen. It was a very local business. The business was actually called Taylor Paints. And that was my little thing that I did. And one day sitting around the kitchen table, somebody brought up making metal helmet fronts, because we're about 2 hours south of St. Louis City. And they've been wearing metal helmet fronts since the early 1900s. And they still do. They have them made in-house, and they wear metal helmet fronts. And they said, you should take a shot at making these. And after a whole bunch of R&D and trial and error and hand cutting out shields and trying different materials, we finally came up with something that I liked and that I was comfortable with. We started trying to promote it on some of the Facebook groups, Fire Hall, Flea Market, stuff like that. And I got to tell you, I was really surprised. Like, people liked them. And looking back on it, I'm like, wow, those were really, really bad. Why did you like them? They were really bad. But it did really well, and it took off really quick. And I had the support, that initial support, that launch that we got at the very beginning. It was all I needed from the community to tell me that I needed to keep trying to do this. Fast forward now, we're about 7 years into it, I think, and 6 full-time employees.
Oh, wow.
And looking at building a big building, and I mean, things just catapulted. It was awesome. And we've added products as we've gone, and kind of I let the community direct us a little bit. Whatever they think they need, I'm going to try, and really no different than the first business, where it was like, you need something? Let me try and make that work for you. I'm a people pleaser, and I want everybody to be happy with the product and like me and stuff like that. So it just kind of has been its own self-driving machine, and it's awesome. I'm loving every minute of it. I get to meet all kinds of cool people. Less than a year into the Tins, went out on a pretty bad arm surgery, and by the time it was time for me to go back to work and ride the desk, I was out of vacation time, and I needed to go back and start earning money. The Tins were doing so well. My wife was already like 6 or 7 months pregnant, and the decision was made for me to hang it up and do this full time.
So you've been doing it for about what, 7 years, right? Do you ever think that you would be? I saw the other day you're part of the Fire Store now. Do you ever think
Yeah.
that you be that popular?
Not a single thing has happened that I thought would happen. So, and it's all genuinely just been every day, just wake up and do the right thing for the right person at the right time. And these connections get made. I get to meet awesome people. And I've said it before to other people. My goal is to just make sure that people are always talking nice about me behind my back.
100%.
No matter what the decision is, I mean, I could be like taking a baseball bat to my computer screen because someone's got me like
Fired
freaking out over something. Like, are you kidding me? But the message I'm going to send them is going to be completely different, because at the end of the day, I want them to feel like they were the most important person at the time, and that I was there to take care of them when they needed something. We've created a dynamic between us and our customers where they can count on us. We get, sadly, this isn't bragging, it's sad that this is the niche that I found myself in, but people don't have 12 weeks to wait for a funeral type product. They have days. And when you only have days to get something that's that important to somebody, it could be shields for family, we've had photos of countless helmets with shields on them being presented to family members at funerals. And that's because it's important to me that they have that item. So I'm going to work late. I'm going to next day express things. I'm going to make sure that those kinds of products get in the hands of people. And it creates a trusting relationship between me and my customer, that they know I've always got them no matter what.
Nice. Have you ever been out and about somewhere or like on vacation and seen your product? Has that happened to you yet?
Any tins in the
I
wild?
mean, it's tough because you don't always see the fire department, when you're on vacation or whatnot. So that's kind of a different. But you know what I mean? I don't. It's almost like not that you need validation or anything, but it's almost that like, whoa, like there it is.
I've got my version of that.
Okay.
It's not seeing it out in public. I've got a handful of people that love to, like, people that do a lot of like instructing, and they'll send me pictures of their students' helmets. They love doing that. Tins in the wild. And so we've got that. My validation has always been seeing my product in some form of advertising that's not about me. If my product makes someone else's advertisement, it's like, okay, it's becoming a little bit more acceptable. It's a little bit more ubiquitous. It's there, but not intentionally. We get the fire engineering magazines. We get those just packets of advertising that they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And we go through them real quick, and we cut out the advertisements or the pages where there's photos or a picture of somebody wearing one of our products, and we hang them up.
Okay.
That's how I measure, like, have I made it? Did I make it?
And this might not be just a question for you, Taylor, but I work on the West Coast, and there's not very many that I know of fire departments that wear leather helmets or metal helmet shields. We're all leather. And so this is a new thing for me. When I heard about you and we talked about it amongst ourselves, I had no clue what they were talking about. I didn't know that your helmet shield was interchangeable with anything else other than leather. I've never worn a leather helmet, so I didn't know if maybe that's like a specific thing to wear a tin or a metal front shield on a leather helmet, because I have a plastic helmet. And so is that something? So I don't know, maybe the West Coast really hasn't adopted that, or they've gotten away from it. I don't know. I'm not that much
trailblazer, Matt.
I'm not like Unky. I'm not like a fire geek, I'm just kidding you. But anyway, so like, I don't know if you could maybe just like briefly educate the me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I assume you're wearing probably like a Phoenix First Dew or some version of that.
Yeah, Bullard.
Okay. So we had a few initial ones on the West Coast. The West Coast has been a tough nut to crack. Lone Pine, California was our first West Coast order.
Okay. And I remember Lone Pine probably has a population of what, about 120?
Yeah, and they're all firemen apparently.
Yeah,
and they're all firemen.
it's weird that you remember that. Like that says a lot about how much you care about your business. That's my first California order. I know exactly where it went. Like, and that might have been years ago.
It was literally like 6.5 years ago. The product was
awesome.
awful at the time. And I remember them. I remember the trials and the tribulations of that order. Our helmet shields weren't always aluminum. The initial ones were made out of like heavy ass steel. And they didn't have brackets on their helmets, and they had to Velcro it, and we had to find the right Velcro that would work. And at the end of the day, going back to my whole customer service, making that person feel super important, I ended up buying them all brand new brackets from Phoenix and sending them helmet brackets so that they could mount their shields on their helmets.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's what sticks with me. I don't know if it's actually super public knowledge yet. From what I understand it is, but we were actually just written into the CAL FIRE policies that CAL FIRE, like their shield policy is all based around Taylor's 10s.
Wow. Look at that. Congratulations on that. That's pretty slick.
That was a big goddamn deal.
Whoa. I mean, I'm sure that's a really long story, but I mean, like, how did you even start cracking that nut?
About 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so it's been a process.
I had a handful of guys that were out there in that area that liked the product, found it on social media, and started ordering a couple here and there, wearing them illegally. They're not supposed to be wearing that. But they liked it that much that they wore it and wore it and wore it. And, guys come up in the ranks, guys, that maybe they bought it when they were just a grunt on the line, and now they're the training chief, or, their best friend that they go drinking with is the training chief. And that's actually how that progressed. It went from one guy to another, to another, to another. And now it's in the policy, and it took a long time to get there. But it's pretty awesome. We made it there. We've got several up in, I can never say the name of the city, up in Washington. It's a big long word that starts with an S. They're all wearing them. And
Seattle. No.
Damn it, that was it. Yeah, Seattle. Just tongue-tied. But yeah, we've got several on the West Coast, but you think about it, there's not really any big trade shows on the West Coast. There's not, unless it's
Firehouse
like
World in San Diego.
Is that a big show?
Mm-hmm.
Is it big?
Yeah. So it's a big, they've got vendors just like any other conference. And then they used to do a lot of training. So manipulative training, they'd have rope rescue stuff. They'd have auto extrication stuff. They'd have like fire officer stuff, that included, taking command and ICS and all that. But because of COVID, kind of killed a lot of it. And then also, I think just the straight up liability of it that they couldn't get over, or someone got really hurt. Something happened, right? It's always the way that the fire service works, or really anything, to be honest with you. But it used to be big in the manipulative world too. They'd have big classes down there, and you'd go down there for a week. And but yeah, it's big. Look it up, San Diego.
Yeah, I want to do a West Coast show so bad. Like, I want to get it. We joke in the shop. The joke has always been it's hard to get tins over the Rockies, and that we run into Colorado, and it's just kind of like no more. Like, we don't get any more out that way. I'd love to get out there more. I'm hoping this CAL FIRE thing kind of develops into more. We've done all of the training guys and stuff like that, and we're hoping that it kind of spins up into something much larger.
Well, I think you started in the right place, because I want to say CAL FIRE is probably the largest department in California. So
good chance.
That's all. Yeah. Hey, Taylor, I think what helps you a lot is your price point. Obviously you're in business, you got to make money, but Matt, you were talking about adjustable fronts. I've had a buddy of mine make these for me. This was my rookie assignment, and I had him customize that design. It's leather, and I just stuck with that design through all of my assignments, and I was just going to display them all at the end. But I mean, you're talking price point, Taylor. Your price point is half of what that custom-made leather front costs. So I think it makes it a lot easier for people to do that. And what the durability is probably a big deal for you too, huh?
Yeah, those are the two things that kind of go hand in hand. When we brought it to market, I didn't know how to price it, because there's no secret that a small piece of aluminum is really not that expensive. But we needed to be able to build in a buffer, to be able to hire people to manufacture them, to kind of keep the lights on, those sorts of things. So I was like, well, and I just took a stab at what's market medium, like what's a standard shield go for? And you look at Conway, or you look at the Firestore, Bullard, MSA, any of their generic shield builders, and you're like, seems to be about 50. So we just started at 50, and it just stuck. And because we've got a little bit of a buffer built into it, we don't have to raise our prices. We get to, as everything else gets more expensive, we get to remain right there where we started. I think we've gone up $2 because aluminum, when we switched from steel to aluminum got expensive real quick. And so we've gone up $2 across the board on everything in 7 years. And we're actually pretty proud of that, because
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's awesome.
it is. And then you mentioned the durability factor. We can clean our shields from most typical wear and tear. You can clean it with a magic eraser and just like, little sudsy water, and they come clean, and it's super impressive. We actually discovered that with one of our earliest customers. You might know his name, Chris Kessinger from Citizens First.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. He ordered a shield from me, and he said he threw everything under the kitchen sink at it and could not get the shield to come clean. It was completely sooted black. Made him a new shield, sent him a brand new shield. I said, but can you send me your old one? I want to play with it. And I did the same thing. I'm using Windex, I'm using bleach, I'm going at it with everything I can think of, and I just cannot get this thing to come clean. And the last thing I grabbed was just the magic eraser. And I put it under the water, and I remember it really vividly. As it's under the water and I'm scrubbing it with the magic eraser, the image started to reappear, and I could smell the soot.
Oh,
Like,
Wow.
this thing had been cleaned 30 times with a million different chemicals. And as soon as I hit it with that magic eraser, I could smell like training fire. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that, like it's
the
stuck in your
propane-y, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Mr. Clean.
Smell it. It was unreal. And now that's just, now we sell a cleaning kit on our website, which is just a generic magic eraser and some toxic suppression solution that we mix up and clean your stuff. It's awesome. People get multiple uses out of it. I've hit on it before, and I've gotten made fun of on social media for it, but that thing's up there to do a job. We put it on our helmet for a reason. It's not just up there for fun. So let's let it do its job for as long as it can. Nothing's fireman proof, but you're going to get a lot more use out of this product than the alternative.
Yeah.
And we did an episode on cancer and stuff like that, and how it used to be a badge of honor to have this dark black helmet and your shield and everything's all whatever, and that's going away. That stigma's going away. That badge of honor, if you will. It's better to have that clean helmet and what have you. And you notice with a lot of those leather fronts, not saying anything, calling anybody out that they're bad, but they get exposed to heat and they start curling, and they'll hold on to that soot. And leather is skin. It probably still has pores if it's not sealed correctly, so it's holding all that carcinogenic material on there. Whereas with your aluminum tin, like you said, you get that magic eraser, you shine it right up, looks like you got it yesterday.
Yep.
That's one thing that irritates me about people's helmets. That one, don't clean it, just like Taylor was saying. It's there to do a job, tell you who you are. And my department, for a while, they were real bad about the side indicators. They would never swap them out. Like, you haven't rode that truck that's on your helmet in like 6 months, and you're at my station. You need to put these on. No, that's like, when somebody's got to get a hold of you. I don't know who you are. But I see an engine one on the side of your helmet. I'm going to yell at, hey, engine one guy, stop moving. You're about to fall in a hole. But they're not. So people, yeah, look at his dirty helmet.
Hey, look at that card in that helmet, man.
I watch that all the time. But if you notice what's right there, raise hell, praise Dale.
Is that our card?
It is your card.
Yes.
Now, give Doug credit.
You jumped the gun. I was going to ask you next.
No, he was talking about the side indicator cards. That's why I wanted to show it.
Yeah. And Doug does get a lot of fires. He's the biggest fire department of the group.
Yeah. He goes to Jobtown all the time.
Every day he reminds us that he's the largest fire department of the group.
Biggest.
So he does get busy.
Huge.
Yeah.
The biggest by kilometers.
It wouldn't be if we weren't ribbing each other.
So,
it.
so for me,
Hashtag Freddie maybe buy.
yeah. So I had reached out to Taylor a while ago. This tin, and it even has the authentic sticker on the back.
That's how you know
I had
it's
reached
real.
out to him a while ago, actually through a mutual friend of ours, Sean Duffy. I know he listens. I'm gonna give him crap if he doesn't. And I had sent you a real rudimentary, like horrible logo that I had been working with, and I just remember you texting me back and saying, do you care if I clean that up a little bit before I put it on one of my products? And I said, yeah, that'd be amazing. And the tin came out, and I love it. It's a great display piece. I have it in the podcast studio now. It used to be upstairs, and a lot of people ask me about, oh, that's really cool. But outside of the tins, outside of the helmet fronts, what are your other best-selling items? What are your other ones that you like to push, that you want other people to know that they can go out and get? Like I was going to say, Doug, I was cruising your website the other day, and I sent Doug the picture of the Raise Hell, Praise Dale, and it was probably, what, 15 minutes?
It wasn't
like, he goes, ordered on the way already.
I bought it quicker than a hiccup.
Freddie is very influential within the group, because
I love that.
it was about 3 years ago, me and Freddie started talking, and then he did a little plug for your 10, and then I went and got it with my original logo, and then as my logo changed, I upgraded it, and I had some extra ones. Now I give them out to markets, people that buy my seasonings wholesale. I give it to them. I give them a little display, and they put it in their store.
That's awesome.
Hashtag Freddie made me buy.
Hashtag Freddie.
Yeah, we've got a pretty long list. I think the last time we calculated, there's like 400 products on the website.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
400 individual listings. The playing cards, man, that was a fun story. That was so I'll back up a little bit. As a line guy at the fire department I was working at, I wasn't exposed to the entire fire service. I was exposed to my little small town fire service. So I didn't know you could swap out your helmet front either. I just thought that was, you just leave it on there and that's the one you get. And if you ever promote, they give you a different one. I didn't even know where they came from. I didn't know any of that.
So the helmet front fairy.
It just appears. I didn't know anything about it. So now I'm getting exposed to more of the fire service. I'm meeting people from all over the country, and now you're adding them as friends on Facebook. And the next thing you know, the next time you scroll, you're seeing stuff from places you would have never seen before if you didn't meet that person. So just through scrolling and becoming a little bit more entrenched in the entire fire service, I started to see, you start picking up on things that people do in different places. And I started noticing like the paper playing cards. And I was like, okay, I kind of get it. Like, the jack of all trades or the ace of spades, these sorts of things, they've got a meaning to these people. And it's a lightweight, easy product that builds upon some kind of tradition. And whatever that tradition means to that person. And I can go deep on tradition because we hear it all the time. I'm going to stick with my leather. I'm a traditional guy. Like, the metal shields have been around just as long.
Yeah.
Like, learn the entire tradition. That's your tradition, but learn all of it. So I'm picking up on all these traditions, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And you start seeing some of them, they're pretty torn up. It's a piece of paper, it burns. I'm like, maybe we could make that out of metal. And we played with it, and for the longest time we did laser engraved ones. And now we can do full color images. We could put your face on there, logo. So now we've created new traditions based on old traditions of tucking playing cards in the helmet. And now guys will just order cards with their station logo on it. And it might just be, it could be their station, their crew. It could be Station 7C crew. And they have their own logo. It's their tradition. It's their pride. It's just this extra little thing that makes the guys, they're really married to what they do. And they love
the brotherhood.
Wear it. That brotherhood, it's that. And we've got all our cute, funny ones all over the website and stuff like that, and some that are maybe a little bit more serious, more generic, stuff like that. But that's probably one of our one of our more popular kind of like miscellaneous products that we offer. The street signs, started noticing that, you see big street signs on fire truck bumpers. It's the street they're on. They're on Broadway Express or something like that. And started noticing that we could make those. Not everybody knows where to go to get a street sign made. Let's offer that. So then the street signs happened, and then it was bigger street signs. Then you go through a couple of Christmas seasons and you realize that guys are looking for little knick-knacky things to give their crew. And then that's where the locker tags and the wallets, and now we offer laser engraved challenge coins. There you go. He's got one.
Yeah.
I love my wallet.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. Christmas time is perfect. Like I said, for those little, even the playing cards, like you said, if you got your logo on it or whatever, I mean, that's just a great idea, because a lot of guys at my department used to put they put their station number in denominations of cards. So yeah, the metal just makes it so much easier.
Yep. Yeah. We have a listing that is just every number of the deck of cards. And if you're at station 72, you can buy a 7 and a 2, and we get pictures all the time. A 7 and a 2 tucked in their helmet band, station 72.
That's so cool.
Awesome. I love it. And I love being a part of this industry, because this industry, as I've learned more, is one of the most historically documented and collected industries. The people that are in it are in it. Like, they love it. They are a part of it. And a helmet front isn't something that, I wouldn't like to think, it gets thrown away very often. When a guy takes his helmet front off, that thing is cherished gold. They keep them. I want to create a legacy product that guys don't throw away. Exactly. So
yeah, I mean, I plan to display these in my shadow box for every assignment I've been to. That's why I kept them the same, and I wanted to just display them on my shadow box. And again, at your price point, you could not only buy them, you could buy fresh, clean ones when you retire for your every assignment and still not spend a bunch of money. Even if your old ones are dirty, if they don't clean up, whatever, if they get damaged, whatever, you could replace them with new ones. I mean, you've just got a great thing going.
Yeah. And I love it. That's the biggest thing, is that I absolutely love every minute of it. I'm excited to go to FDIC. I was excited to do this podcast. I want to talk about the fire service, and I want to talk about what we're doing, but I also like to interact and add more people to my catalog of friends that agree with kind of what I'm doing, I guess you could say. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
Back to your price point thing, as far as gifts goes, collecting, special, like Freddie was talking about earlier, or like you were talking about getting them out the next day for somebody's, a funeral or what have you. At your price point, it's really easy to do them as gifts, collectibles, memorabilia. I mean, you name it. It's awesome.
I just ordered, it took less than 24 hours for him to ship it out to me. I ordered 2 shields with my twin girls, their names on it. And when we get at the hospital, they're going to be revealed to everybody. So
that's so
that's awesome.
I was about to pull them up on my screen. I won't pull it up. Never mind.
No. Only me, my wife, and Taylor know the names.
That's awesome.
Whoa.
And
not even Uncle Freddie.
No, I showed everybody the design. I had no problem showing people the design, but it says my name on it and how it's done. And even the program I used I deleted that one with their names on it. So nobody can like look over my shoulder or accidentally send it to anybody. But I got those 2, and I know I'm going to do the playing cards for my station. So come May 1st, I'm going to have a big order coming in. I already got this 10. This is my dad's birthday gift. He's 40 years being a firefighter. He's been retired. He's got a 1953 Mac and all that fun stuff. He's a big fire nerd. So I got this from Taylor.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Got a lot of other patent ones. So
I think single-handedly, this group might be keeping you in business.
It's Freddie.
Taylor.
The lights are on. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. We at least paid the light bill once.
Yeah.
Right. I appreciate you guys. It means a lot to me. It really does. We love every minute of it. And it's funny, like a majority of our employees are not even fire service related people. I've got one guy who was a 15-year career fireman that I bought out of the fire department because I needed him that bad.
Mhm.
Wow.
But the rest of them, they know nothing about it. And it's hilarious because you watch them and within 3 or 4 months of working here, they're using fire department lingo. They're
Oh, I love
talking.
it.
They'll bring me shields and be like, this one's really cool. Like, where's this one going? I like the colors on this one. Like, they're bought into it. And I've got a 19-year-old girl that works here who nothing about the fire service ever. And she'll just walk up to me randomly and be like, what's a tiller? Is that it's not like a tiller on a tractor. It couldn't be. And I was like, no, it's not. And then I can sit there and talk to her for 10 or 15 minutes about the different types of fire trucks. And she's like, that's really cool. And then she goes back to work. It's awesome.
People just anybody. People are just enamored with the fire service. There's so much cool stuff that we do. There's so much history and tradition. It's just everybody wants to know about it. Every time you go anywhere, and when people see my license plates, or I went out to eat here locally not long ago, and I pulled up and there was this old guy standing out front. And he saw my license plates. He's like, "You're fireman?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he asked me where. I told him. He said, "Hey, I retired from so and so. Do you know so and so?" And people just love the fire service. People love firefighters in general. It's just people love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody says 6 degrees of separation in the fire service.
Absolutely.
It is like 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's 2 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm asking you about one person before we get to another mutual friend. It's
Oh,
awesome.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Crazy how small it is.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie,
so
you got some questions you want to ask Taylor?
I do. Before we get into that, I had, and you don't have to answer this because it almost sounds like the question that we don't like getting asked of, like, what was your worst call you've ever been on? But like, was there a product that you were like, this one's gonna hit, and like you put it out there and you're like, well, shit, nobody likes it. Have you had one of those yet?
Gosh, I know we have, but now I'm on the spot and I don't know what it is.
I mean, that's all right. If literally everything hits, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, it doesn't. Hang on one second. I'm gonna call.
Oh, he's gonna phone a friend.
We're gonna phone a
I'm gonna
friend.
phone a friend on this one. I know he's got an answer for me if he's sitting at his desk.
That's awesome.
Come on.
I want to know where I can get a Taylor paint product at.
Oh,
I see the website.
Yeah, I left the Facebook page up still. You can search Taylor Paints.
But how do I order?
Hey, you're live on the podcast right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
They asked me, was there ever a product that we developed or thought was going to be a really good product and it fell flat on its face? What was that product? I'm blanking, but I know there's at least 5.
At least 5.
There's got to be at least 5.
Oh, I mean, there was things that we thought would take off really big, but I mean, they still sell slowly. Shoot.
Just put him on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. The plain
Keychains.
Jane keychains probably never took off quite as well, but since we've upgraded to the customizable, they went through the roof. So it's usually just a tweak on the product.
Okay.
Playing around with a little bit, but
I could agree with that. All right. Well, thank you for your time. This is Lucas, everybody, by the way.
Hey, Lucas.
Thanks, Lucas.
hello.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Love you. Bye.
All right. So every guest that we have, we like to run them through hot seat or the hot wash or the turnout drill or what have you. It's going to be 5 real quick on the spot questions just to make you think.
Do we have to call Lucas more?
Yeah, right. So the first one I'm going to go with is what's your go-to recipe? If you were put on the spot and you had to cook right this second, what would you?
Pork steaks.
Pork steaks. Okay.
Chops.
Pork steaks.
Like chops or?
It's I've always been told it's kind of like a St. Louis or a Midwest thing. They take a pork butt and they cut it into slices.
Butt steaks. Yeah.
We love, and you can go to Sam's Club and you can buy the butt and go back to the butcher and tell them how thick you want it. Cut those pork steaks like 1.5 inches thick and just get stupid meat sweats. Just
yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hope to God you don't catch a burner.
Mm.
Right.
How about are there beans in chili?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
All
got
right.
a lot of
Yes.
them.
Yes.
Yes.
Different kinds of beans.
Yes.
Oh, multiple
Ooh.
beans.
More than one. Absolutely.
Am I upsetting Unky?
Yeah, it's okay, buddy.
Oh, no.
I can
I
eat
take it all
around
back.
them.
Edit it all out.
And we may have just
No
lost.
beans. Beans are bad.
We may have just lost all of our Texas listeners with that, but it's okay.
Yeah, we just created some controversy.
There's some folks in Texas that like beans.
Are you an early worm or a night owl?
Okay. So when I first quit the fire department and I started Taylor's Tins full time and it was my full-time responsibility every morning, 2 a.m. It was like 2 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day for about a year and a half to 2 years
Oh,
because
boy.
I poured myself into this hard. I've since kind of switched and now it's more of a I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm in bed and probably asleep by 9. So
Okay.
I'd say early.
All right. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
The Grinch.
Okay.
Which
Now
one?
are we doing Jim Carrey or animated?
I'd have to give it to the Jim Carrey one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then this
the Grinch.
that
was good.
Thank you.
was really
Practice
good.
in the mirror.
And then this one seems to I really like actually there's 2 of these that I really like. So let's do all right. One person alive or dead that you'd love to have lunch with.
The Carnes brothers.
Carnes brothers. Why?
Clever.
Because I feel like that history was not as well documented as I would like it to be. It's selfish. I would love to know the inception, the startup. I want to see that manufacturing process. I want to see how they were doing it. I want to know what they were up against. I want to know how they took orders and how they got stuff across the country. And I want to know all of that story a lot better. I find that to be a very interesting kind of thing that I'll probably never get to know much more about.
That's it. I love it. I love that answer. Well, I think you did pretty darn good. That was the 5-question turnout drill or what have you. Nailed it. So now you had spoke about FDIC just a little bit ago. So tell us what you have coming up. Tell us any sales, any trade shows you're going to.
This is going to air on Friday morning.
Yep, this air this Friday. So
okay. Well, if you're watching this, we will have already done a signing at FDIC on Thursday with Paul Combs and Mike Gagliano. I'm sure it was probably a good time. We'll just be walking around. We don't get a booth there. We have a lot of friends, and we'll go visit them at their booths at FDIC and get out and shake hands and visit people. It's a great place to get together and see all of these relationships that I've made. We're doing something kind of fun. We did it last year too, but I put out a post a few days ago that if you find me at FDIC and you tell me that you eat your boogers, I'll give you a prize. So we've got all the prizes ready to go in a backpack. And if it's anything like last year, I'm pretty sure we calculated we had about 170 grown men walk up to me and tell me that they eat their boogers. So we're going to try and beat that this year and get even more.
More booger eaters.
That's right. And next show that we've got coming up is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We've got a pretty substantially sized booth there. We're sharing our booth with Box 31 Leather, Capital City Industries, and BA Shields. So we'll be hanging out over there, peddling our wares. Come by and say hi. After that, I know we've got at least one trade show planned every month for the rest of the year. But I can't remember when or where right now. I know we're doing first in Arkansas, something in Texas. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna stop because we're all over the place.
But you can check all your socials. You guys are pretty good about putting all that information out, whether it's your website, whether it's your Instagram, Facebook, what have you.
Yeah, we try to post about it about a week and a half to 2 weeks before it's happening, because if you're going, you're already going. It's more or less like, hey, if you're going to be there,
Yeah,
come say hi. We're not going to convince somebody in Iowa to travel to South Carolina just because we're there. So we just kind of announce it before we go. We do a lot of posting while we're there. And if anybody's ever seen us at a show, you know that I like to just give away gobs and gobs and gobs of stuff. So come by and see us.
like little Tin Man stuffies.
That's right. That's right. We're taking some of those to FDIC. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, if anybody hasn't heard of our 10 of the month, have you guys heard of that?
I have.
No, please go on.
The 10 of the month. It's kind of like our version of the T-shirt of the month. Total ripoff, really. And so we pick a sponsor, and somebody will sponsor that 10 of the month. And really, their only job is to let us promote them and put their logo or their brand on one of our tins. And we've got a handful of subscribers. I think it's somewhere like 30 or 40 continuous subscribers. We do a lot of individual sales where you could just buy that month. You don't have to subscribe. We don't pigeonhole you into a 12-month contract for Shields. But I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but who our 10 of the month sponsor is for May?
Who is it?
Who?
No.
Hot dog! Hey!
Yeah.
We've made it!
Right.
Awesome.
So the Cool Fireman podcast is going to be our 10 of the month for May, and we're donating $5 from the sale of every shield to
First Responder Children's Foundation.
Awesome.
First Responder Children's Foundation.
We're excited about it. We've been running the 10 a month now for, I want to say we're going on, it'll be 3 years. We started it in January, was our first month. So we're in our third year now. And we calculated it the other day. We've donated around $50,000 to charities all over the country just by moving some shields. It puts a cool collector's item in the buyer's hands. We're giving money to a good charity. It raises awareness for that charity. And it's cool. It's a feel-good thing. We price them literally to the point where we don't make any money off of it. You're just covering the shield and shipping. And after that, the rest of the money goes to charity.
And where can people get those, Taylor?
TaylorsTins.com and navigate over to the 10 of the month section. You'll be right there on top all May.
Awesome.
That's
So
fantastic.
follow up in late May and announce how many we moved.
For sure.
Thank you.
I think that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
We had a meeting.
You guys getting on board with us. Thank you.
We had a little meeting with the foundation, and we had can't remember his name right now, but we had him on, and he just explained kind of what they do and that they give back to the first responders kids and all that. I mean, it's a great foundation. So go out and buy one of those tins and give to a great organization.
I love it.
And also, what's that?
It goes live May 1. You'll be able
May
to purchase
1st.
Cool Fireman podcast 10 of the month.
And like Taylor said, that money's going to charity. It's not going to the Cool Fireman podcast. Taylor is a vehicle. He's making the tins and donating the money on our behalf, and we're super appreciative that he chose us for May. We're also super appreciative that he joined us on the podcast. This has been awesome. Hopefully you've had as great of a time as we have. This has been fun getting to know you and talking about what you do and how you got there. And is there anything else you want to tell everybody?
Thank you, everyone, for your support for the past 7 years. We literally would not be able to do any of this without you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Check them out, TaylorsTins.com. They have more than helmet fronts. They got everything. Check them out. But as for us, it's shift change, everybody. Have yourself a great week. Go check out TaylorsTins.com.
Later.
See ya.
Bye.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!